Good afternoon, I'm Thomas C. Parisi of Partidos Pro-Derechos Humanos de Cuba, Party Pro-Human Rights of Cuba, and this is Rene Montes de Oca, ex-Secretary General of Partidos Pro-Derechos Humanos de Cuba. Today we're celebrating the beatification of John Paul II, who was beatified this morning in Rome by Pope Benedict XVI. John Paul II, Karl Wojtyla, suffered tremendously under the totalitarian regime of Nazi Germany from 1939 until 1944. He was conscripted into a slave labor camp in the Krakow mines, where if he didn't work there, he was going to be forced to be deported to Germany for slave labor. He had several attempted, he was victim of several almost attempted murder incidents, one being hit by a truck, another when he was a seminarian where the Nazi regime was tracking down and murdering the seminarians in the Cathedral of Krakow. After the fall of Nazi Germany in 1944 and the occupation of the Soviets, Karl Wojtyla was under extensive KGB, former Soviet intelligence branch, under intense scrutiny and also persecution by the KGB. In 1981, Karl Wojtyla was subject to attempted assassination by a Turkish citizen who was paid by the KGB for his defense of the most basic fundamental things which we stand for, which is the defense of the human rights. In our case, it's the human rights of the Cuban people, who have been under repression for more than 52 years by the Castro Regime. At this moment, the National Secretary, Sara Martha Fonseca, is under public scrutiny, repression, and also violent attacks by the Castro regime, which have been staged, numbering 500 to 600 people outside of her house, including the most recent on April 30th, 2011, where she was attacked in her house by 7 to 10 people, where she was kicked, beaten, and then dragged off to the Ministry of Interior for interrogation, and she was held in custody for 36 hours. This is the second time in 2 weeks. This woman's being persecuted for 3 fundamental things. She's a Christian, she wants a democratic Cuba, and she does not agree with communism. For those 3 basic facts of freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and freedom of press, the First Amendment of our Constitution, she's being threatened to have bodily damage done to her and even have her life taken from her. But we are trying to appeal to the greater English-speaking people for help, so to speak, of attention so that this Castro regime doesn't survive into the next century. We thank you for your prayers and thoughts. Once again, I'm Kentucky Colonel Thomas C. Parisi, and this is Rene Montes de Oca. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias y que Dios la bendiga.